After a 5-year hiatus, the Arena Football League returned in 2024. However, just over a month into the season, the league has gone from 16 teams to 9. I caught up with former Louisiana Voodoo coach John Forcade to discuss the return and quick fall of many teams in the league. For over 20 years, the Arena Football League was considered the most popular form of professional football outside of the NFL. Between 1987 and 2008, the league held games in some of the most famous arenas in sports and gave many future NFL players their starts, including Super Bowl 34 MVP Kurt Warner. For the next decade, the league was on and off until it announced the closure of its remaining 6 teams after the 2019 season. At the beginning of 2024, the league returned with 16 teams nationwide, including the Louisiana Voodoo, with one of the marquee hires being former New Orleans Saints quarterback John Forcade.
Look, when the AFL Arena Football got restarted, I got contacted by a good friend of mine who became the head coach of Lake Charles team with Voodoo. And I said, look, I'll come there. He wanted my nephew, the quarterback. I said, all right, I'll get my nephew. We'll talk over. All right, I went to help out with my nephew, Chase Forcade. We get there, they move the team to Lafayette, and then all of a sudden he tells me, James Shivers, you're going to call a play, is it your team now? I'll just be the head coach. I'm like, whoa, he caught me by curve. But I knew something was up.
Forcade has as decorated a football resume as anyone. When he says something is up, people listen. From 1978 to 1981, the Louisiana native starred as a quarterback at Ole Miss before taking his talents north of the border to the CFL. From there, Forcade played in 4 different leagues, including 3 different AFL franchises. From 1995 to 2016, Forcade coached in numerous leagues, including a 3-year stint in Biloxi as a player-coach with the Mississippi Fire Dogs.
I've been doing it 13 to 14 years of this, been a GM, head coach. I know how to run and do everything, and I saw something. There's certain people that just can't be involved in this.
In 2023, the AFL announced sports attorney Lee Hutton as commissioner of the 16-team league. Days after the announcement, Hutton said that the league was in discussions to relaunch the New Orleans Voodoo, a successful franchise owned by Tom Benson from 2004 to 2008. The league failed to acquire ownership in numerous Louisiana cities before deciding that Hutton would own the Louisiana Voodoo, a team originally placed in Lake Charles but relocated at the last minute, citing an alleged lack of communication between the team and the management of the arena in Lake Charles, though the arena countered that the Voodoo was delinquent on rent and had failed to show proof of any insurance.
Lee Hutton was a scam artist. Lee Hutton was the commissioner of the league. He lied to everybody. He said he owned 4 teams, counting the Minnesota team, which is a 5th team with his wife. They had no money. They wasn't paying anybody. They used everybody, all the teams. So I don't care who he is and what he is. He's going to get sued. I'm involved in it. You know, the TV coverage, Gray television got screwed over. NFL Network got screwed over. The guys don't pay their bills, never had money to pay bills.
The Voodoo were scheduled to play against the Philadelphia Soul in Week 1 of the season, but a majority of the players on the Soul were given forms notifying them of their release and eligibility to sign with a different team the day before the game. To make sure the game still took place, the league contracted the Dallas Falcons, a minor league arena team that played in the game representing the Soul.
It's Bush League. Point blank, you see the NFL doing it, you see the UFL doing it. Teams can't pay their bills, just pack your bags and leave. Don't try to put a semi-pro team out there. Prime example, one kid got hurt for the Philadelphia Soul who dressed it up, came over from Dallas as a semi-pro team, blows out a knee. What you gonna do now? The league ain't paying for it, ain't helping. It's Bush League, what they did and what they're still doing. So many teams folded up. We had a team from Oregon playing with a cattle fence with a pad over it. A cattle fence, not a dashboard, but a cattle fence. Are you kidding me? The league's a joke right now. Got to fix it. And if anybody wants to, HBO or somebody that wants to do a big documentary on it, call me. I'll be more than happy to tell you a lot more.
After their game on May 5th was postponed, Forcade's team was told that they would be ceasing operations.
The way we got treated, kicking out of the hotel the day of the game, telling us we're moving into apartments after the game. Game's over with, they tell everybody go home. How they gonna go home? Florida, Texas, Arizona, California. Where you gonna go at? So we helped the kids stay in hotels for 3 or 4 days, but it was the worst experience I've been through. I would never want to go through any of that again, even I don't want the players to. AFL can be there, it should be here. They gotta get the right owners, people with money. Don't go these I want to fly by every day and say, I got it. No, you don't. If you don't have it, don't get involved in it.
The 9-team league is currently being run by Super Bowl champion winning head coach Jeff Fisher, who took over as commissioner after the owners forced Lee Hutton to resign.
That's like a blockbuster story right there.
That was kind of crazy, right? Like John Forcade, I mean, appreciate him taking the interview, taking the time to do that, right? Like, that's a story. It's kind of gone under the radar so far. I mean, we had the rights here at Great Television for a cup of coffee, never ended up getting a game in. NFL Network had the rights to it. They never got a game in there.
Well, he didn't pull any punches.
No, I mean, yeah, you remember, listen, yeah, John, listen, I'll say, though, what's going on right now in that league, obviously, I think it's going to get talked about a little more going forward, but I was happy that John was able to kind of talk a little bit about it in the only way John Forcade knows how to, and that's passionate.
All righty. A lot of Ole Miss Rebel fans like it when John Forcade turns up on WLOX.